Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in this session, we're going to talk about a brief primer on your resume. So much stuff is out there on it. Here's what you need to remember. The people that are getting your resume are getting 150 to 200 of them at a time. Your resume is scanned. It is not read. That's the biggest thing that people absolutely have to remember, that your resume is not read. It is scanned. What does that mean? That has a lot of implications. First of all of that fancy stuff you got on your resume, your picture and colors and ribbons and flowers and all of that other silly stuff, get rid of it. You want it in simple format, and you need to be sure that you have your name, your email address, your phone number, and your LinkedIn profile at the very top. Don't put it down at the bottom or on the side. The other day I got a resume where a guy had stuff on the side of the resume. His phone number was so light you couldn't even read it. So get rid of all of that fancy stuff. People, when they read your resume online, start in the middle of the page. They go to the left, and then they go to the top of the page of your resume. So you can't get rid of objective. Nobody cares about your objective. What they care about is their objective. Summaries don't mean anything unless they are related to a particular job. So you want to put that performance kind of summary stuff related to particular jobs. I got one the other day where the guy spent the first page and a half of his resume writing a summary and his objective. All of that's junk. You got to remember that 60% of the people that are reviewing your resume don't have anything to do with the job. They're being told by somebody, look for this or look for that, and they don't have any idea what you've done is relative to what they're looking for or not. So you put in the very middle of the page the most important stuff, which is what people look for. Who have you worked for? What did you do for them? Do I understand what this person did for them? And how successful were they? So you put down the name of a company. There are 1.7 million businesses in the United States. Not everybody knows what your company does. So if you are any company, you got to make sure they understand exactly what the company did or what the company does and exactly what you did there. Titles can be all over the place. Some of the titles that I see are absolutely ridiculous. Nobody understands what the title is. If your job is sales, I don't care if your title is senior vice president or grand poobah. Get that off of there and put down sales so that people understand exactly what you did. They look at dates. So make sure your dates are bold and off and then over to the right margin, and make sure you, if you've had a number of different positions in a company, put down the total amount of time that you were with that firm, and then list the positions under it in with separate dates. Because people are scanning your resume, they're looking at who you worked for, how long were you there. Stability absolutely sells. The longer you were at a place, the better off you're going to be. Make sure they're in bold. The other thing that's really important is that you report what your successes were and or are. That means that you bold numbers. Stories sell, numbers tell. People look at numbers. They're automatically drawn to numbers. Writing stuff down like good written and communication skills, communicated with this group, interfaced with that group. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is your performance. And they are looking at who'd you work for, What did you do? How did you perform? How well did you do? And then they make a quick decision about whether or not they're going to have you in. If they can't get within 15 or 20 seconds all of those things about how you might be able to work for them and what you might be able to do for them, then they're on to the next resume. They're comparing 150 to 200 of these. I get about 100 resumes a day, and I scan them. If I don't see something what I'm looking for really quickly, do I get it really quickly? Then I probably move on to the next resume. Email your resume, include 4 or 5 bullet points, but no more than that, because emails, again, get scanned just like the resumes do. So people are going to scan your resume. As I mentioned, 60% of the people that are going to look at your resume don't know what they're looking for. They've been told by somebody, look for this, look for that, whatever. And if you can't put it in simple format and simple forms so that a high school senior could understand exactly who you worked for, what you did, how long you were there, and how successful you were, you're probably not going to be very successful in the use of your resume. So just remember, they're scanned, they're not read. A 3-page resume, they're not going to go beyond the first page, maybe the second one. So keep that in mind, that it's not what everybody thinks. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.